Joy Behar calls her a 10. I mean, how dare she objectify a woman with a sexist rating system? But it's such a typical thing from a 1.5.
Well said.
The motives stink worse than Joy Behar's jog bra. I mean, assuming she jogs. Oh, wait, there she is. All right. She has a point. Maybe I am obsessed, but some people are obsessed with Bigfoot, and they don't get to see him on TV every afternoon. And if they did, could they tell the two apart? I don't know.
Everything exploded on screen the second Joy Behar convinced herself she had the moment under control. Greg Gutfeld and Tyrus flipped the whole situation upside down with humor so sharp it hit like a hurricane smashing straight into a meltdown. Greg's lines sliced through the air like glass, while Tyrus stayed icy calm, dropping quiet one-liners that landed harder than a speeding truck. And as Joy slowly unraveled live on TV, the scene turned into the perfect mix of roast battle and reality show meltdown. Chaotic, hilarious, and completely unforgettable.
It's not even that. In The View, you don't need to find Trumpers. You need to fire your race baiters.
Yeah.
You need to fire the two races. You've had people. You had a McCain on there. You've had people on there before, and you ran them off. So the racist ones who want to stick to this, Whoopi and Sonny, and was it Bette Midler? What's her name? The broke-ass Bette Midler. Fire them and bring people in. Maybe you could get McCain to come back. She was a Republican, but every show and every break, she was nearly in tears because she was being...
Joy sat on her TV throne acting untouchable, until Greg Gutfeld and Tyrus stepped in with crushing jokes and that calm, confident energy she never saw coming. In seconds, her whole queen of the set persona crumbled on air. She stared in shock as her dramatic reign slipped away right in front of everyone.
Joy Behar accused Elon Musk of being pro-apartheid, but then begged him afterwards not to sue. Musk lawyers have yet to comment because they're still checking to see if it's legal to sue a cow.
Shots fired.
It's a legal question. I don't know why it's so upsetting. I don't make the rules in this country.
This moment wasn't loud or chaotic at all. It was colder, sharper, and way more brutal. Greg and Tyrus quietly tore Joy apart piece by piece with jokes so precise they felt like they were slicing straight through the screen. And the crazy part, she wasn't even there to defend herself, making it feel like watching someone lose a battle they never even showed up for. By the end, her once steady throne was shaking like never before.
Now to some news. The feral monsters of The View say they've never heard of you-know-who. True, the show that makes mornings hell claim that my name doesn't ring a bell. It's time for...
Our view on The View. Ugh.
Yeah, the witch's coven finally shows me some lovin'. Yesterday on The View, yours truly was the subject of conversation. Apparently the broads have no idea who I am, or so they say. Hit it.
Greg Gutfeld went full savage mode, doing what he does best, calling out daytime TV nonsense without ever mentioning Joy Behar's name. He painted the perfect picture of those hosts who act wise while sipping wine and pretending they understand real-life struggles, like the actual price of gas. Every line he dropped was so sharp it felt like it sliced straight through Joy's carefully polished image.
That the Gutfeld talks about you all the time.
Who is he? Well, really, who is he?
I don't watch the show.
He has a show.
I don't watch the
never
show.
heard of him.
Yeah.
I guess he's just obsessed with me.
No. Next, Joy's going to say she's never heard of carbs. Seriously, her denial of knowing me is as believable as her red hair. But obsession? I mean, come on, Joy. Where would you even get that idea? Like Joy Behar's face, it's looking worse and worse by the day. More full of crap than Joy Behar after a night of scotch and Taco Bell. Her being named Joy is like me being named ugly. Joy wasn't there on the show. Apparently Mondays are her days off when she feeds in the pasture. It now smells like a humid day inside Joy Behar.
Tyrus showed up with his trademark calm cold energy. No yelling, no theatrics, Just quiet jokes that hit like silent bullets. While Joy performed for applause, Tyrus had that expression that basically said, "We're still pretending this makes sense?" He never said her name, but everyone instantly knew who the target was. It was a flawless, effortless takedown.
No, this is what elitists do who can't, like, if you don't know who someone is, how did you know to automatically hate him? Like, I mean, that's how fake and full of she is. Gutfeld, never heard of him. Don't like him. Why? Because why? That's why I just turned to one of my kids. Because why?
Yeah.
Because I don't know who he is. Never heard of him at all in my entire life. But why? Because I don't know. Because they are the last TV show to talk about high turnover. We've been rolling 3 steady for a long time.
Yeah.
We don't take breaks in the commercial to get away from each other. Well, that's what the drinking's for.
Yes.
Meghan McCain, how'd that go?
Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell, any of these previous fellow employees? Because one of the things they said was that no one walks away from money. Right?
Yeah.
So they got people running away from.
Greg didn't need to argue or raise his voice. He just laughed, quiet, confident, and let perfect timing do the rest. With a few expressions and razor-sharp lines, he dismantled everything Joy has tried to hold onto for years. And the wild part, she still thinks she's winning, like a captain smiling proudly on a sinking ship, while Greg and Tyrus simply let the truth sink her act.
The problem is that you have to go after the racist people, and the CEO goes, you know what? I'm not going to allow a woman on my show or man that will go after white America and talk about them like dogs. That doesn't represent our ideals or values for anyone. And get rid of those people. And this will clear up real quick. So do you have to actually look in the mirror and clean up your own backyard and get the racist people out? Because that's who you allowed in. You allowed black racist on TV who could just go all day and say anything about white people. And I guess lo and behold, they forgot that there's a lot of people at home, white people at home during the day that are not watching your show anymore. So just clean it up.
Yeah,
Tyrus doesn't need drama to make a point. He sits there with that blank, steady stare that speaks louder than any long speech Joy delivers. While she puts on a whole performance just to make one point, Tyrus lifts an eyebrow and exposes how out of touch she's been for years. Her applause isn't excitement, it's habit. Meanwhile, Greg and Tyrus deliver humor that actually lands and makes the whole setup look ridiculous.
It's about the view. It's become like a medical hospital that displays human misfailure. Like it's like here, let's look at this political oddity. It really is like the left-wing equivalent of a carnival sideshow, except instead of bearded ladies and fat clowns and two-headed cows. Well, let me rephrase that. But The View is a victim of the sunk cost fallacy. How can you now speak the truth when for years you've been telling lie after lie after lie? Now you're carrying this big bag of rocks around you because it's too harmful for their ego to admit that we really were dishonest. And they could be honest. All they would have to say is, look, we hate Trump so much. We were willing to lie about Joe Biden because we felt he was preferable. We thought our lying and our cover-up was on your behalf. Just say that. You're still scum, but at least you're honest.
Tyrus gave her that unmistakable look, the silent one that says, "Do you hear yourself right now?" Then he let her own words collapse under their weight. Joy thrives on noise and theatrics, but Greg danced around her chaos with sharp humor that made her entire act feel cartoonishly overdone. She could drop the performance any time. But she won't. And that's exactly what Greg and Tyrus exposed. Not Joy the person, but Joy the long-running TV routine.
Sure, all that, and the price of butter. Sonny gets the game ball. If it wasn't for her, asking that question, it might have been a closer election. But when nothing really comes to mind, I was like, cha-ching. Listen, they're bitter, they're angry, they're entitled. They also should be. This should have been a reset for everyone who pushed lies and misinformation for the last. They call them Hitler. They call these things. America rejected them, and instead of coming back and saying we lied, they instead are now doubling down. So let her keep doing it, because if she keeps that up, we're going to keep getting the Senate and probably the House and the White House, because people see right through
It felt like someone pointing out the emperor has no clothes, without naming the emperor. Tyrus didn't need to talk. His silent, stone-faced stare said everything. Joy's confidence melted instantly. Greg and Tyrus didn't even step onto her stage, yet they shook the entire show. While The View has turned into a scripted skit with forced applause, Greg and Tyrus bring real conversation and honest humor. Watching that contrast felt like overdue justice.
Joy sure loves running her mouth. She should, but she should. It's the only running she does. Emily! So what did you make of this? VVAC is what she called him. I don't care if you disagree or agree with him. That dude is not dumb.
No, and that is what was so ridiculous. Everything that comes out of her mouth is ridiculous, but for her to make that kind of point about someone that we all know, that regardless how you feel about his politics or him running, that he is undeniably brilliant, is so...
While The View keeps clapping for itself and pretending it's delivering deep wisdom, Greg Gutfeld and Tyrus are giving people comedy that actually hits. One side lectures, the other makes you laugh until your stress disappears. No wonder the takedown happened without Joy even noticing. She was probably waiting for a dramatic fight while Greg and Tyrus roasted her from miles away like a forgotten TV dinner burning in the oven. Greg lit the fuse, took a calm sip of coffee, and watched her act tremble as Tyrus sealed it with one blank stare and a tiny snort that said everything.
Here's Joy Behar talking about refusing to share a kidney.
I find it friends bizarre. With a Trump supporter. I won't give them a kidney, but I could be friends with them.
Hey, Joy, it's a kidney, not a pizza. Of course, she's kidding at first, but then she goes on to explain the moral foundation for her resentment, and it's the same one that drives all deadly ideology.
Joy came prepared for a loud, dramatic showdown. Shouting, gasps, all of it. Instead, she was roasted in a moment where she didn't even matter. Imagine spending years stirring outrage, only to discover no one cares enough to argue anymore. The act is stale, the jokes are worn out, and the audience has moved on. The View isn't a real talk show now. It's a wax museum of recycled outrage, while the real laughs are happening with Greg and Tyrus.
Sausage maker Johnsonville is recalling more than 42,000 pounds of pork sausage for possible contamination with plastic fibers. Fortunately, authorities were able to track all 42,000 pounds to a single location in New York City.
Younger viewers are done with lectures from wealthy hosts and fake applause triggered on cue. They want honesty and humor. That's why people are tuning into Greg Gutfeld and Tyrus while Joy Behar is still yelling at clouds, unaware the storm ended years ago. The roast already happened without her. Her shiny throne has been replaced by a shaky stool sitting in the dust of old punchlines. And if you want real drama mixed with real humor, then hit subscribe to Jacob Reports, because this is where the tea actually gets spilled.